Hello everyone, Warangel here, and welcome back to the adventures of Sultan Jaffar and the Caliphate of Araby. Now for today's episode, we're going to be starting things off with a siege assault against Lashik, a settlement that belonged to us until recently, where one of the rogue armies, the College of Pyrotechnics, declared war on us last episode and took the settlement. In a fairly one-sided fight, if I'll be honest. I didn't even bother showing you guys the fight because it was just so one-sided. But our main army is here now and we're in a position to go and take it back. Although it's not going to be a typical way that I'm going to do it, because the reason why I wanted to show you guys this screen rather than go straight into the battle is to remind you what we're up against. If we look over here, we've got not one, not two, but 7 units of Outriders with grenade launchers, 2 steam tanks, 4 batteries of Hellstorm rockets, and of course a general, but we're not going to worry too much about him. Now, this will decimate our infantry units, which means we need to have a cunning plan for the fight. And I have one, thanks to you guys, whose advice in the comments basically supported what I was going to do. So, let's go down to the battlefield and take back the settlement, shall we? Welcome everyone to the Battle of Lashik, where you can see in front of you the army that's going to win us the battle. Now, you may be wondering where the rest of the force is. Well, as you can see on the minimap, they're actually all deployed right here in the corner, and they're going to stay there for the entire battle. Now, there's a reason for that, and if I hit play, I can show you why. Now, as you know, the enemy has got a lot of grenades and a lot of Hellstorm rockets, and those are devastating against regiments of infantry and cavalry. But when you're talking about single characters and monsters, not so much. So, what's going to happen then is, for the starting move, is that we've got Naimi over here as well as the Ravager of Kassabar, who's going to be marching up to attack the gatehouse. The Juggernaut's going to stay here, the Juggernaut is going to stay here then, in order to provide a distraction for the Hellstorm rockets, and then we're going to have both Jaffar and Al-Rafiq get into position by the wall. So they're going to be, well, out of the way of the Hellstorm rockets, although we're going to have to be a little careful of the grenades that this unit's going to be using. Now, as you can see, we're already going to start casting spells over here. We've got our first one being used, a Sandstorm, although that did unfortunately suffer a miscast. Whereas over here, when the Hellstorms finally got into range and the cooldown was finished, we're going to see Sultan Jaffar using his Serpent Staff. Now, it's not that it's really needed. I mean, you can see already it's not exactly hitting anything, but we might as well try and get rid of him. So, here comes the first spell. Going to do a massive amount of damage to these units right here. And we're going to be following up straight afterwards with a Pendulum in order to get these 3 units to retreat off the map. Now, they will be retreating. One of them may be coming back, I'm not too sure, but this one will be hanging on for quite some time. But that's fine, we've dealt with most of them. Now over here we've had a bit of a situation. The gates managed to open up enough for the Ravager to make its way inside. Unfortunately, Naimi was forced to stay outside. Now it does happen sometimes when you play in Warhammer 2 that the gates will will let a unit through, even if it's closed, which is fine in certain circumstances, other times not so much. But this one's fine. The Ravager will be doing an expert job, dealing with the general as well as the steam tank and everything else. While it is going to be taking a bit of damage though, I wanted to provide some support. So one Pendulum spell goes straight across to destroy the Outriders, and we're going to be starting to summon in our Jin in order to help out. So here comes the Infrit first of all, who's going to go and help out the Ravager straight away. Well, straight after that, we're going to follow up with the Desert Spirit from Al-Rafiq in order to deal with this Outrider unit right here. So, they're all going to go to town. It's all going to be nice and easy. Now, at this point, this other unit of Outriders comes in to try and provide some support. I send the Infrit to deal with it, just because that way we can pin them in place without using their grenades. And just in time as well, Naimi was able to bash down the gate, so he's going to come in and start doing a number on the enemy in front of him. In fact, we can leave him alone now at this point, because the Outriders are going to be nothing, the General not even worth a thing at this point, and neither will be the steam tank, although we will have to deal with it. The steam tanks are unbreakable, so we have to make sure that we destroy both of them on the map as soon as we can. Now to try and help out a little bit over here, we've got another sandstorm being unleashed through them. The Outriders at this point are starting to make their way off the map, thank God. And you can see over here that we left the Juggernaut for quite some time out here. It's taken some shots out these Outriders, and I imagine Sultan Jaffar's bowmen are going to do a few shots as well. But on the whole now, we've broken in and the enemy have no chance at all. At this point, we've got a general already retreating away from us. We've sent in the Ravager to chase him down, as well as go after the Outriders over here. While he's doing that, then we're leaving Naimi here with the Infrit to go after the steam tank. We are doing some damage to it with spells, as you can see here with Spirit Leech. And while that's been going on, we have been going after some of the units here as well. We can see a couple of units have taken damage, mainly from the fact of casting spells across the buildings, in order to attack with a pendulum and things like that. Now this is what happened though with one of the Hellstorm battery crewmen actually coming back. I remembered seeing the replay originally and thinking to myself, where did this infantry unit come from? And now I know, but now I realise that it's the rocket battery. But this situation here now has been cleared up quite nicely. We do have some more Outriders coming in, but I'm not that concerned about them, to be honest. The main concern now is once we've dealt with the steam tank here, we're going to be making our way in now to go and finish them off. So we've got a few grenades getting shot down towards our Rafik, not that really matters. A pendulum going across has done some more damage, and we are really pushing the enemy back now, with a lot of them trying to skirmish away from us. The Hellstorm rockets are still firing away, even after all of this time. Which is fine, they've managed to not really do any damage to us, in terms of casualties. Thankfully, the way it works, they can't do anything unless they kill one of my hero counters outright. Now to help out a little bit, we have cast the Curse of the Jinn just to try and reduce enemy armor, ready for us to be able to send in Naimi here, who's going to go first of all after the Hellstorm rocket battery, just to finish it off before they retreat. We've got Jaffar coming up behind him as well, ready to add magical support. Whereas over here, our Rafik has decided to go after these two units by himself. Because they're trying to skirmish away, they're going to leave themselves in a very vulnerable position, where as soon as they get close enough, we're going to unleash a burning hand spell right into them. It's going to be quite devastating, and it's nice to see me actually using the spell, because it's so short range that we don't exactly get a chance to use it all that much, although unfortunately we did suffer a miscast from that. But we've now dealt with them, and the only thing left to deal with now is the steam tank. Now it's going to take some time because don't forget, while it's not exactly as good in combat as my character here, Naimi, it is heavily armoured, it does have a reasonably high weapon strength, and it's going to take a while to deal with, especially as it is unbreakable too. So we're going to skip forward a little bit just to see the finishing blow. And while we've been waiting, we're going to be having Spirit Leech cast on it, as well as the Enfeebling Foe from Sultan Jaffar, just to try and add a little bit of, make the fight go a bit more quickly, I guess. Now with another Spirit Leech cast on it, the final blow is struck and the steam tank is destroyed, leaving the garrison now defeated and us owning Lashik once more. So with that, let's head back up to the campaign map. And so with that, Lashik belongs to us once again. Now, I have to admit, I feel a little dirty, to be honest, having cheesed the battle that way. And I know it's a completely legit style to fight, but I don't know, maybe you can influence the fact that I used to play the tabletop and that, but to me, it doesn't feel right just having loads of, really overpowered units in your army. That's one of the reasons I tend to use the tabletop caps mod. But since it's not going to work for, the OVN Lost Factions, I'm trying to stick to it, as you can see. Otherwise I could have just gone all out to get a whole bunch of elephants, giant scorpions, spirits and all sorts, instead of just having Arabian spearmen. But we shall see. The main thing is we're able to take back our settlement. We're just going to go ahead and occupy it. And I believe we have eliminated the faction now. We have resecured the Land of Assassins. Yep. We have obliterated them. Great news. And a Talisman of Protection. Thank you. Right. Now that we have recaptured Lashik, I think what I'm going to do is actually skip forward a few turns. Because what I want to do is refit the army a little bit. You may have noticed over here in Kofa in the previous episode, I've started to recruit some Arabian Guard to replace our spearmen. And we are currently in Kofa, or I should say the coast of Araby, upgrading our nomad trading post so we'll be able to get our hands on better bowmen, maybe even get our hands on some better swordsmen with the Jaguar champions, but I haven't checked them out yet. So this could be an interesting opportunity. But what I'm thinking, anyway, is to bring the army up and along the north so we can get our replenishment and get a bit of, swap around. And then what I want to do is get in position here near Zandri, because I think what we'll do first of all is go after the Land of the Dead over here. We've already got Zandri, so if we take the Salt Plain and Kemri, which is going to be a tough fight against these savage orcs, because they have quite fortified the settlement. It's, tier 4 I would say, given that they're missing a slot right here. But once we've taken that, I think we can swoop back in then, in order to go after the Rakaf dynasty, take the entire province here, and hopefully we'll be able to spot the location that's going to allow us to recruit undead units. I mean, I'm still thinking it's either going to be Kemri, the Black Pyramid, or the Black Tower, but until we capture them, I don't know what landmark is going to allow us to recruit undead units. We know that Bel Aliad is the one that allows us to gain Chaos Warriors, so I would like to try and get that from from the Dwarves at one point, using maybe the region trading. But before we can actually gain it, we do have to capture a territory in the province. So yeah, I think we'll go after the Savage Orcs first, and then come back, take out these guys, and then we can be in a position to push down south. So, let's just see if there's any last minute things we need to do. Now, I don't know what is happening here. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to recognize the Arabian docks, so we may just have to make do with Sudenburg not having a port. But we can go ahead, though, and we'll upgrade it. We'll get a few extra purchases here and there. We've got 3,000 left to spend. Lashik, we can certainly start giving it better defenses again, replenish them, and hopefully get our walls sorted in the settlement. Well, the Sorcerer's Islands, at least, are going to get them next time. But let's have a look and see what else we need. Our Feek, again, just spending points here in the blue tech skill tree for no other reason than because we need to. For you, let's continue going for Crack the Whip. That way then we can continue getting extra income. Although saying that, we haven't actually got any slave buildings, do we? I'll tell you what, let's go for this one instead. Just to continue getting our growth, public order up a bit more positive, especially after our recent conquest. And we've got 7 turns of instability to worry about. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So, see you guys in a few turns, I think. Huh. Well, we're only just in that end turn phase when I click the button, and it looks like these savage orcs have just decided to one-up me here, because, as you can see, they've already decided to declare war. So, we're going to have to start moving our army into position in order to try and start the fight against these as well, before they start steamrolling over Zandri. But, hopefully, with the defenses we've got there, that should be enough to help things out a bit. Let's just see how it goes. Right then, guys, here we are a few turns ahead. I've actually lost track of time, in fact, how long I've been playing between the last cut and this. But as you can see, we're in a position now to go after the orcs. We had a failed assassination attempt as well by against Baba, by Blazkak Guzzler. Okay, fair enough. But yes, we have outfitted Sultan Jaffar's army with a few new units. We've got Jaguar warriors now replacing our normal swordsmen. We've got the Arabian Guard. We've got 3 units of our Warhammer nomads, as well as, of course, as the Death Giselles, Mad Mullah Aklans. And otherwise, nothing else has really changed. We have got access now, if I hover over our hack, to eventually upgrade this even higher, so we can get our hands on Arabian Ogres, Southland Warriors, and even Camel Riders with Giselles. But for the moment, we've been saving up our money a little bit, and just moving around our 2 other armies. Now I say 2, because what I've done is I've recruited an army in order to, recruit the Arabian Guard, as you guys saw, and then we also recruited another one over here at Phyrus in order to get our Haemat Nomads. But as we were recruiting in that, there was a dwarven incursion down by the Wizard Caliph's palace, and I sent down my character here, this army I mean, with the 4 units of spearmen, as well as Muzdahir ibn al-Abbas, in order to defend the settlement. They managed to defeat the incursion. He's leveled up now, and I must admit, I managed to check out the tech tree, his skill tree, and look how cool this is. So even though they have the one Lord unit, the Heroic Sheik, you can customize them quite a bit. So when you get the level up, you have an option. If you go for like Hardened by the Desert, you can recruit along this tech tree, skill tree, but it means that all the others are locked out. But you can go for either a more defensive-based character, a aggressive-based character, if I just move back a bit in fact, for, again, the Mazvar and be able to go along this way. You could even make them magic users with the Law of Heavens, Fire, their own custom one here, as well as the Law of Life. So, very, very cool. And of course, we've got all these things we can start playing around with, thanks to the Lord Skills mod. But yeah, I was quite impressed with that. But we're going to keep this army around, like I said, just as a small backup one. And you can now go once I hand over your units to this guy. So he can have all of these. There you go. And then you, can go bye-bye. And that's helped our income out a little bit. Yeah, it's not the most expensive, well, it's not the most cheapest of options having a second army. I mean, we have to worry about supply lines and that, but this army, of course, doesn't help us. It's cost us nearly 7,000 a turn in upkeep. This is an expensive army, but look at it. We have Arabian Guard, we have Jaguar Champions, those masterful nomads that we saw in the siege defense at Zandri. It's a powerful army, and I'm hoping it's going to do well against the orcs over here. Now, they don't know we're here, of course, thanks to our very good ambushing. I mean, look at that, 85% chance. So let's start things off by going after the salt plain right in front of us. Might as well go and capture it early on. Nice and easy. There we go. Occupy. Perfect. And we get the Banner of Eternal Flame, we could potentially add to the army. Now that we've taken that, let's use Baba. Where are you, Baba? Oh wait, there, of course, right.
Moving off.
I want to see if there's any armies up here first. Morkheim, I think, is a little bit further up that way. Newmass is right here, of course. It's only a tier 3 settlement. But we could go down here then and get the Ash River too. We want to take all this territory away from the orcs. So, yeah, we'll definitely focus, I think, on Kemri next, just because it will allow us to secure the entire province here and take away a major location for them. And then we'll be able to head over, deal with Newmass, Gorkazan, Morkheim, and so on and so on. Could even potentially head out towards Sartosa at some point. I think that could be a good idea. Alright, as for the Salt Plain, we have got some defenses already, good. Got the slave market, might come in handy. Let's upgrade it for now. Why not? Oh no, actually. Let's use the money instead. Go back to our hack. We can then upgrade our tribal assembly here. We've already started recruiting as well the caravan stop, so we can get our hands back then on the Arabian Knights. We can get the Sipalis, the elephants, and eventually get war elephants and scorpions and all things like that. That looks cool. But we will also be looking to build this one, Sorcerer's Zawiya, so we can eventually get our hands on the Jinn and flying monsters up here. We've of course got our landmark building, and yeah, I think we'll be able to really build up this province as a major recruitment area. Especially our hack, I think that's going to be really cool. Now, Jaffar, let's continue upgrading you. We have got plenty of magic at this point. I could go for, I guess, Doom and Darkness to reduce enemy leadership. I mean, against greenskins, that could potentially come in handy. But now, let's finish off the doctrine I was doing, Sword and Shield, which, as you can see, is reducing our upkeep for our infantry, as well as increasing physical resistance and melee attack. So we'll definitely go for that. Our Rafik can continue along the blue tree now at this point, just because he's got everything else. Naimi, let's continue giving you Indomitable, just to improve leadership. In fact, when we eventually get more money, I would like to visit the Grand Bazaar, just to see if there's any new items we can try and buy for our troops. But apart from that... Oh yeah, that's the other thing I've done. I've also managed to secure military access and a military alliance with the Greybeard Prospectors. Like I said, we're going to take them out eventually, but for the moment, they're handy as an ally. So, especially as we go up against Warcraft Dynasty in the future, they're already at war with one another. So, as long as we keep an eye on the situation, it means that they can attack from one side and we attack from the other once we dealt with the orcs. So that would be cool. But, let's see what the orcs are going to do next against us. Now, this was something I didn't expect to see, especially going through the, the faction list as we go through the end turn phase. That is the Kingdom of Khemri. Now, I don't know how they're still alive, and I don't know what happened because they weren't appearing on the top there. But it looks like they are still around, and Cetra is still leading the army. Can we actually open negotiations with you? Let's have a quick look. Oh wow, white. So they've been hanging on, basically. You can see here that they have no settlements. And they basically must have been hanging on by simply using Raiden Stance. I'm surprised the orcs haven't tried taking them out yet. Although, speaking of orcs, Khemri is so lightly defended right now. Oh, I must admit, I'm really tempted to just march down and take it, but I don't want to leave our forces open to assault from these two armies. I mean, the Assault Plane hasn't got the ability yet to build up walls. So yeah, can't afford to do that yet. Although, let's see if we can take advantage of our really good ambush chances in order to try and draw them to us. So we'll move Sultan Jaffar outside, set up an ambush. We'll use Barbar as well, just to, I think, go down after Khemri. We'll go and attack the walls if we can, or sort the garrison. I tell you actually, try out over here. Wound, sure. Try and take out their shaman.
Tools of judgment ready.
Well done. Excellent. Alright, Nadim, this is the guy that's been going around just exploring the map for us, so we'll give you that and that. You must have got stuck by that army, but we've sent him down towards the coast here, in order to try and see if we can negotiate with the Vampire Pirates, or the Vampire Coast, as well as encounter any other factions along the way. So I'll let you do that. And we'll see if we can launch an ambush. If not, we will maybe have to go after these directly. I mean, what do you look like in terms of a garrison? Savage Orc Big Guns, I mean, to be honest, I think we could take these guys out. I don't think I want to keep it, though. I mean, we may do just because it would stop them from using it, or let someone else take it. But not only is it uninhabitable to us, but it is a major location for Savage Orcs. So we will be dealing with Savage Orcs quite a lot in that area because of it. Might be better just to burn it down. But for now, let's see if our ambush chance is successful. Okay, here they come. Oblug backstab, first of all. Fantastic. Now, I'm pretty safe to just auto-resolve this fight. I mean, I must admit that this guy looks cool in the picture there. And have giants with Savage Orc paint? Oh, well, that would have been cool to see. But on the other hand, then, it's going to be an easy fight. I don't see a reason to fight this. Goodbye. Oh, wow, that was an easy fight. My main force barely took any casualties. The most, I think, actually came from the garrison. Okay, sure. I will actually pardon the captives as well. Let's get a bit more cash coming in. And we're still in a position, I think, to be able to take out Osgar here in a minute. But I still think my best option here is to go after Khemri and take the settlement completely. Even if we lose a minor settlement then, we've managed to secure a major location. I think that's the best bet for us. So once this end turn phase kicks through... After what happened though with the College of Pyrotechnics, I'm a little concerned seeing all these pirate armies. But then of course, pirate armies don't actually attack land, so I think we'll be okay. Alright, skip through here. Picked up a that, and that. Okay. Let's go after Kenry. Of course, let's actually level you guys up first. I think that would be the best bet. You can continue getting in that. Alright, Sultan Jaffar. What can I give you now? Eventually we could work on his own personal combat skills, but I still think going for magic is going to be the way to go. So we already picked up Arcane Efficiency, Storm and Magic. What about any more personal combats that help our troops out? Extra speed can come in handy. Desert terrain? Possibly. Maybe be a nomads. Nah. Giselle's Bowmaster? That could come in handy. Especially if we can head over here, Nineveh, from the dunes, Royal Decree. Now, I'll tell you what. Let's go. The ambush defense chance would have been quite handy. Now, let's just continue with the magic. We're going to go for Blessing of the Elements, first of all, just to allow us to imbue our troops with magical damage. And then for Naimi, you've now finished that completely. Okay. We'll go for Specialist and start working down that. But now that we've done that, let's go after Kenry itself. Sorry, Cetra. You had your chance. But it looks like we're going to go in and take it instead. There we go. Decisive victory. We'll go ahead, of course, and occupy it. Alright, secured that. We got the Gunner Sakwan. Okay. I could have swore that one used to do reload speed, which was quite useless when you consider the majority of lords don't have ranged options. I could be wrong though, but I could have swore that was it. Alright, what do we get anyway? Nomad Trading Post. We got a Grand Yasir Gold Smelter. That, oh my god, look at that. Excellent. Occupied Kenry, okay. Oh wow, what we got here? Archaeology. We got Nehekar Excavation, giving us more gold. A chance to uncover an item, extra research, okay. We could go for the excavation of Cetra's Great Pyramid. Oh wow, look at the amount of money we get from that. Of course, diplomatic relations penalty with Tomb Kings, but I don't care. The Imperishable Palace of Nehekara. Oh, that looks good, that really does look good. I'm going to rub salt in the wound, and I'm going to start excavating his pyramid. Alright, we'll do that, and I think we might as well go defensive as well. Make sure that Kenry remains securely in our hands. Alright, while we do that then, we'll also upgrade the salt plane up to tier 3 so we can get our hands on defensive walls. You can continue to be upgraded, good sir. We'll go, this time I think, let's give you Bowmaster. And in that way then we can actually work on these then too. Also make our army the most powerful we can. Alright, Baba. You've got everything for the moment, let's just give you some points in training. We'll let you get some experience too. Oh no, hang on, are you tired? Oh, you are exhausted, right. Oh yeah, because we did the assassination, didn't we? Duh.
Show me the accused.
Right, let's send you up here a minute, just so we can keep an eye out what's happening up here. Yeah, there's Morkheim, see. I wonder if Morkheim, hang on. This location is of special importance to High Elves, Dwarves, okay. It might be worth us taking then, just to see what the landmark building is. And then afterwards we can just abandon the settlement like we've done before. We can abandon both of them, in fact, if we don't want to keep them or they're proven to be too much hassle. Now as for you, let's go for growth and public order to help things out a bit. Naimi, let's give you some more points in specialist. Right, that's a little bit of a surprise. But as you can see, Kenry have declared war on us. The blood god wars for war has come. The enemy gathers his forces. Now, it didn't even pop up on the diplomacy screen saying, you know, war's been declared. He's just declared war on us. So, I don't know how that happened. To be honest, I thought they would have had to go to the diplomacy screen, make a formal declaration, you know? Not that he's actually done anything, obviously. He's just, you know, continued to raid outside the settlement. Right. Anyway, you can continue marching around here, good sir. You can find out for us. Maybe have a look around, see if we can meet the Skaven. Maybe go down and meet the Lawmaster, considering we've already made friends with a number of High Elven factions. Maybe the Order of the Lawmaster will help us out. Now, Baba... Okay, thank you for checking out down there, but let's move you down towards Numas. I know there is a full-stack Orc army somewhere in their territory, although I didn't realize how much they actually managed to take. I'm a little impressed now. Huh. Alright, Casabard belongs to the Order of the Dragon Lord, or Calador, as it would normally be called. Talako have taken the plane of Tuskers. Okay. We may have to get down there quickly if we want to try and secure some of that. But I think we may have to try and deal with Cetra first. This is going to be a hell of a fight, isn't it? I mean, he's got the Hekon Warriors, Tomb Guard, Skeleton Warriors, Tomb Scorpions, the Shepti, and of course, don't forget they have that Tomb King ability to be able to summon in another unit when they get a chance. They got great bows, Screaming Skull catapults.
Death is not the end.
I think we'll have to fight this. I honestly do.
This is your end.
Although I'm surprised you don't have your chariots.
Grave spell.
Alright, we are back up to full strength now. I think maybe he's just annoyed that we are starting to excavate his tomb. Yeah, I think that must be it. But let's get the fight going. What's our chances with this? Oh, what? Really? Now, given what he's got, I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, it's not exactly like a WoW force, but still. He's got Yshapti, he's got, you know, the Chemian War Sphinx here and stuff like that. I honestly thought the balance bar would have been more in his favour, but apparently not. And look at that, he looks so tiny next to us. You know what, though? It is Cetra we are talking about here. I think we should give the guy a chance. You know? Plus, we've only had one battle this episode, and it wasn't exactly a big wowee one. Let's fight it. Let's fight the battle, and see how he does against the Sultan himself. See you guys down there. Welcome everyone to the battlefield. Now, we're actually skipping forward a little bit with the time because I made a little bit of a mistake. I forgot that the AI, when it has siege equipment, is not the sort to actually be aggressive and attack us. So, rather than let's stand around and get attacked by their Screaming Skull catapults, I decided to move the army forward, as you can see. Now, they're charging towards us, we're charging towards them. It's going to be a big, heavy, well, combat in the middle. Although, it's not going to go quite in their favour. Now you can see over here I've got my Giselles actually firing away at the archer chariots here. And we're going to have the spirits of the serpent devastate a whole bunch of enemy units, really carving up that centre quite nicely. And while my infantry are coming in now to deal some damage, we've got my desert dogs coming over here to deal with the Screaming Skull catapults back there. On the right flank, the Sepalis are hanging on in there against both the War Sphinx and some Nehekaran horsemen. But it's doing okay, and the main job really is for it to try and hold them in place, while we deal with the infantry with the Arabian Guard and our Jaguar warriors. That if I zoom down right about here, that's not them, that's them over here. But yeah, looking really, really good, I must say, and they are much better in combat than my previous warriors. But as they're going on here, you can already see we've now cleared up the centre quite nicely. Our Giselles are still firing away at this unit of archer chariots just to try and wipe them out as quickly as we can. Over here in the centre, we've got Cetra fighting Jaffar in combat. Now, I didn't realise at the time he was actually fighting Jaffar. I just saw he was fighting some Jaguar warriors and left it at that. But it's not going to be an easy fight for him. You already see that he's starting to crumble, and he's getting shot at by weapons. We've got all sorts happening around here. Over this side, we've got things clearing up quite nicely. Our infantry now have managed to get into combat with the War Sphinx and already dealt with the Nehekaran horsemen. The only hiccup we had in the actual fight was over here, where you can see that, and you would have saw the pop-up coming up about the Ushabtis being spawned, and they decided to spawn right next to my nomads here. But as soon as I spotted them, we sent Naimi over here as well as the Ravager to deal with them, so that was an easy fight. And while that was being cleared up now, all we got left is for Cetra to be defeated. Now, unfortunately, Jaffar is a bit overzealous, going to the point of actually knocking away his own troops in this. But it's just one more hit to go, and then he's going to be sent flying to the ground. Wait for it. Bam! And Cetra has been defeated. At this point now, the battle is over. The enemy's army is starting to crumble. The only thing left now to deal with is the War Sphinx, which is disintegrating, but it has got a bit of health, so it's going to take a few people with it if it can. But between us using the Enfeebling Foe as well as everything else, it's enough to make sure it doesn't do anything more apart from killing one character. And with its death is a decisive victory once more for us, and to show that Cetra is not unbeatable. So with that, let's go back to the campaign map. And there we have it, the defeat of Cetra. Now I have to say, thanks to the skills we're gaining from the extra Lord skills mod, I have to say, our infantry are looking fantastic right now. I mean, look at that. They barely took any casualties in the fight, and bearing in mind what they were up against, even the ones that were doing stuff like fighting the War Sphinx and that did quite well. I mean, the one that took the most casualties was actually our nomads, but quite happy with that result. Now, what we're going to do, I think we can let them wander the desert. I'll like the extra cash. Not that we really need it now, with 5,000 coming in every turn. Ooh, 15% charge bonus. I would have thought it'd be a little better if we defeated Cetra, or the Perishable, as he will now be known for, as far as we're concerned. But there we go, that's him defeated. Now, I wanted to quickly check out, before we end the turn, I wanted to check out these guys. They're still really, really strong. So what I'm thinking is, because they're at war at the moment with Talaqua, or the children, as they're now known as, the children of Talaqua, because they're at war with these guys, they're at war with the Dragon Lord down here, and things like that. I'm wondering if most of their forces are focused down here, which is fine by me. If we can come in and just basically take their territory from behind, I'll do that quite happily. But what I will do then is move myself in position over here. In the next episode, what we'll do is finish off taking the whole province here. If we're not happy with it, we will just burn it down. If we are happy to have it, we'll keep it. But we will take Numas, Qatar, Springs of Eternal Life, and then we'll start heading down south then. Once we've dealt with the Orcs, we'll go after the Wakaf Dynasty, eliminate the Tomb Kings from the area once and for all, and then we can start considering to go after the Children of Talaqua, maybe go after Calador and take out Imric, just in order to secure our territory from all aggressors. With the Dwarves, I'm still a little bit uncertain. I mean, on the one hand, we certainly would be in our best interest, perhaps, and certainly in character to take them out. But on the other hand, I mean, it's the mountains. Would we really want to be spending our time up here? Well, according to the climate, apparently so. We'll sort it out. Let's just quickly finish our turn now. So, for example, if we go back up to Martek, let's get our hands, I think, don't need so much brine. Let's go for the Ballista Workshop. We can work our way up then to get the Giselles and another Grand Bombard, as well as Manganique, if we need to. Sure. Or we can go for defenses. I mean, that could work. What's this? Oh no, let's go for the Sorcerer's Zawiya, so we can get our hands on these guys at the top there. We'll go for that. We'll go for Sultan's... Do we want to go for Sultan's Racetrack? Let's have a quick look at anything else needs upgraded. Sudenburg or the Elven Ruins can. Well, let's actually go for you first of all. Let's see, our Rafiq can go for runes next. Alright, you're being upgraded. Zandri is pretty much all fully done. The Land of the Dead has been fine. You guys... Let's continue upgrading that. That gives us a little bit of extra income as well. We'll definitely need to do the same down around here. I mean, we're starting to considering these were going to be our main recruitments, our main income buildings, we haven't exactly made a lot of income from here, have we? Let's be honest. I'll tell you what, let's actually cancel this one. Start focusing down here a bit. So we will spend, first of all, some money on here. We just need some extra cash in order to build that. That's fine by me. Yeah, I think I'll leave that here. So, while we got the end turn phase to go through, let me just go through the end of the episode spiel. As always, guys, it always is great to have you watch, and I hope you did enjoy today's episode. And most importantly, you do join me next time for some more Warhammer, as we take out the orcs and hopefully the Warcraft Dynasty pretty soon too. But until then, everybody, take care, stay safe out there, and goodbye for now.